Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of CoinLogic TV, where we are demystifying the world of cryptocurrency trading. I am your host, The Logical Dude, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most popular technical indicators used by traders, and that is the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index. So this video is a part of our Trading for Beginners series. So if you're interested in learning about these mystical trading indicators and having them broken down in a language that's pretty easy to understand, then you know what to do. You gotta like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you're not missing anything. It really helps us out. So I'll give you a second to do that. So if you've done it, great. So let's dive right in and get in depth with the RSI. So what is the RSI? The RSI is a tool that helps traders measure whether an asset like Bitcoin is overbought or oversold. So it does this by comparing the magnitude of recent gains versus recent losses over a period of time, and it gives it the value between 0 and 100. Okay, so pretty simply put, the higher the value of the RSI, the more overbought the asset is. It means it's not time to buy. You don't need to be buying when it's overbought. And then when it's oversold, you don't want to be selling anymore. That's when it's time to be looking to buy. Okay, so that's pretty much the simple kind of like gist of it. So I'm going to dive into the charts and we're going to take a look and see what all that means. Okay, so bear with me just a second. We're going to get that going. And here we are on our Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. I've already got the RSI pulled up here, but if you don't have it pulled up, you just go to indicators and go hit RSI. And you go to the Relative Strength Index, click on that, save it to your favorites because it's definitely one that you want to keep in your toolbox. Have it in your playbook. So yours may look a little different from mine. I have customized mine slightly. You can do that by going to settings. Yours may actually have an RSI based moving average. All right, so I'll leave the link in the description below for our video on moving averages, and you will see why the moving average is probably the most important indicator in the trading world, because not only does your moving average run with price, you also have moving averages for your indicators. Okay, even the volume has a moving average. All right, so you can actually turn this on or off. I turn mine off, and then I've got my color change. Generally it's this like little faint purple color, but I like for it to stand out a little more, so I'll throw green, purple and green. You know, it kind of reminds me of the Joker. I like, Joker's my favorite villain. So anyway, going back to Bitcoin. So the RSI here, you're going to see, has this fair value range between 70, because you see this line up here is around 70, and then you got this one at 30. Okay, the 50 line, which cuts the RSI value in half, will generally indicate whether the asset is in a bullish trend or has bullish momentum. And if it's below 50, it's generally bearish momentum. Okay, so we've got Bitcoin's price made a huge run up over the last few days. You're going to see how the RSI took this big, huge run and how fast it ran up and got into the overbought level. So when the RSI is in this level, anywhere over this 70 line, it's definitely not a time to buy. Okay? It's definitely not the time to go FOMOing into a trade because of the fear of missing out, because you're going to get yourself wrecked. Eventually, what happens, everything that goes up must come down, right? So you will find that when it hits this overbought area, you're going to be looking for a recorrection at some point in time in the near future, okay? So it may take a couple of days for it to correct back down, but it will happen at some point. So because it's just too overbought, and you're going to run out of buyers at that level. So just like if you go into a store and you see a clearance rack, they had too much for sale up here. Well, they ran out of buyers, so they had to put the item on clearance to bring the price down to get people to buy the item up so they could get rid of it. Okay, same thing here. Okay, so price ran up. There was people had Bitcoin for sale up here in this 21,000 range, Well, that was as much as what people were willing to pay for it. Okay, so we're running out of buyers. It's overbought. So we're going to be looking for sellers to be putting Bitcoin on sale again to get people to buy it up. All right, so that means that the price is going to have to come down, which means we're going to have our momentum is going to come down. Okay, so when the price runs up, it's eventually going to come back down. It may not go full bearish. You may, especially if you're running in a trend, it may stay over this 50 line. That's actually really bullish. You just want to wait for corrections to enter the trade. You don't want to buy when it's up here. You want to wait till it's down here close to the 50 line in an uptrend. Okay. Now, if it drops all the way below and it gets oversold, that's definitely a time to start looking. Or instead of looking to buy, that may be time to look for a really big downtrend, okay, or the change in trend, because it can stay oversold for a while too, and it can come up and then it can come back down, as we've seen here. So it may come up for a little bit, but then it drops back down to these oversold levels, and it may continue a trade. So the RSI doesn't just show you overbought and oversold levels, it also shows you the momentum of the direction of the token. All right, so when you're in this fair value range, all right, so when you're really kind of spending a lot of time in this range here, in this purple area, that means that the market is finding the asset's fair value in this range. That means there's a lot of volume, a lot of people buying and selling in this price range here. Okay, so you're not always going to have these huge massive swings all the time. When these huge massive swings happen, that's when your supply, like up here, that's when the supply ran out. They had to drop the price. So people been really liking the price down here. Well, it dropped down, they ran out and they dropped down again. Okay, so now people been buying up. Well, all right, they ran out of assets to buy down here. So now they're going to start running the price up to all these where people have sell orders. All right, so as they're going, people are selling at these higher prices. Well, now that we've gotten up here to these higher prices, there's nobody buying. There's nobody left to buy. Okay, so that's when we're going to come back down. That's it. That's the RSI. Pretty much in a nutshell. Overbought, oversold, momentum indicator. It's one of the most popular indicators out there in the trading world. You just want to remember that you want to use it in conjunction with other indicators, supply and demand zones, support and resistance, that kind of thing. You don't want to use it by itself, because it can run up. As far as the RSI can run up, and can give you like a false sense of a trend. So you want to make sure that you're using other indicators on top of the RSI to help you make the best trading decision for your business. Okay, because remember again, trading is a business. If you look at it anything other than that, it's basically gambling. Okay, so you don't want to be a gambler. You want to be a smart businessman. You want to be a good trader. You want to buy low, you want to sell high. Okay, that's pretty much the name of the game. All right, so the RSI is a great tool to help you do that. So put it as another tool in your playbook, in your toolbox, and we'll see you next time. So make sure that you go also check out our video on moving averages. So that's a great video to watch, and you'll be able to see how you can use moving averages in conjunction with the RSI. So there's a tip for you there, and we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Happy trading, guys.